Hey, welcome to ZT Horse Skills. I'm Moïra. Today I'll be doing a short practice session with Indi. First thing I do here is just to back him up with the stick, and then I'm going to do some really fast-paced approach and retreat with the stick, and it's only going fast because I did the exact same thing literally minutes before filming this. We just didn't catch it on video, and we wanted it to be in the video, so I just started over. In this session, I'm not putting 100% of my concentration on teaching Indi anything new. He's used to all of this stuff, he's done it before, and what I'm really concentrating on more is learning to be aware of my movements and like how I'm holding the rope and how I'm holding the stick and how I'm moving the stick and if my feet are still, which is a big one. I'm doing this because at this stage in my training, I'm aware of what I need to be doing on sort of a cerebral level, like I get it in my head, but it's not muscle memory yet, which is what I want to achieve. I definitely didn't achieve that during this session, but this practice definitely brought me closer. I was able to really conceptualize the things that I need to concentrate on and get better with, so I'm happy nonetheless. The kind of stuff that I'm doing with the stick in this video is really just, it's what I would do with a horse to find out if I'm able to touch their legs or sensitive areas of their body, but while still being at a safe distance. So at the beginning of the video, you saw me do some approach and retreat from the ground. I really simply just lift the stick up and put it back down and check if he has any sort of adverse reaction to the stick and if he's totally uncomfortable. Indi was not, so I continued by putting the stick on his shoulder and scratching around there, and then continuing a sort of approach and retreat on his body. So when I want to approach, I just move to a new place on his body, and then I retreat by going back to his shoulder, which is a safe spot that we've discovered. And I keep doing that all over his body. I'm only doing it on one side of his body this time, but that's because it's Indi and he's used to all of this. If it were a different horse that hadn't done it ever before, I would do both sides of their body so they'd get used to everything. Indi is obviously very chill with the stick. He is going like, what are you doing back there? But he's not entirely uncomfortable or anything. And so I'm taking a liberty and going a bit fast with this whole approach and retreat and touching him all over. Again, mostly because I'm just trying to get some practice in, and I'm actually being instructed by Elizabeth as we're filming this. So here we're moving on to just moving the stick around without asking the horse to do anything. And so I'm trying to be in like a relaxed position so that he doesn't think I'm demanding anything of him, but he's also comfortable with the stick in motion around him. I'm being told here to have a long rope, but also still pay attention to him not stepping on the rope, which is something I really need to learn to pay attention to. Like I was saying earlier, there's a lot of stuff that I know in my head, but it's not muscle memory yet. And this is definitely one of those things that I need to work on. So here Elizabeth tells me that if the horse that I was with were uncomfortable with the stick, flapping around them, and they were a bit nervous, what I could do is like start walking away from them. And you'll see in a moment I do it and I stop. And that's not what she meant. She meant like walk away and keep walking and have the horse follow. So here I was stopped and she's going to tell me to shorten the rope right there. And I took a step back. And I'm not supposed to do that. But here I get it. And I started taking him on a little walk. Indi wouldn't have needed this. Like, he's comfortable with it. But it's just to practice if a horse would have needed it. And there, he stepped on the rope. Good job, Moïra. So I'm just telling him to back up. He did one foot. It's not the right foot. Back him up again. There we go. And he's off the rope. Here, the rope is way too long, so I need to shorten that up, and I do right there. And I make sure to hold it correctly, like it's folded in my hand so it's not wrapped around. I really need to learn and pay attention to that. Up the intensity of waving the stick around, and you see he actually is paying attention to it now. It's like, oh, that's there. But he's still chill, so I turn around to face him and continue waving the stick around. And right here, he overtook me, and I just turned and went a different direction, and I was told that was the right thing to do. So that feels great. I'm about to finish up walking him around like this, but so far we can tell the areas that I need to work on, obviously. I really need to get more conscious of not moving my feet. Perfect example right there, I feel like. And being smoother with the rope, more dexterous. There we go. I need to learn to handle it more quickly and more efficiently, I feel like. And so I'm being very critical of myself, which I feel like everybody on Earth is. So really it's okay, but these are things that I want to work on. So here we move along. I'm going to be asking him to back up because Indi doesn't view me as a trusted leader yet. So he gets up way close, which, I mean, I love horses. That's very cute of him and I love him for it, but it can be unsafe. And obviously I want him to trust me as a leader and to look at me for direction. So here I'm trying to make him back up. He's very interested in grass and I'm not really commanding his attention. But the way that I'm asking him to back up is by first putting direct pressure on his halter. It's very little pressure, but I build it up a tiny bit, and then I add up a little bit of pressure with the stick on his chest. Shouldn't have moved my legs, my feet, whatever. And here I finally get him back a little bit. Yay me. The whole idea behind me keeping my feet still is that if I stay still and I make him move around, then I'm seen as the leader here, and that's what I want. But if he's moving and that makes me move, that makes him think that he's the leader in this situation, and I don't want that. I want him to think that I'm the leader because that means that he'll respect my personal space, and I'll be much more safer than if he thought that he could, like, just push me around and make me get out of his way and stuff like that. And so here, I'm still trying to get him to back up some more, and I'm totally struggling. And I see, he does he leans back, but then he doesn't take a full step. There he took a full step, but a second ago he didn't. And I think what's going on is that I try to be very delicate with the pressure because we want to start very small, and I'm trying to be very conscious about that. So I start off very, very delicate, and I don't think I'm mastering when to take off the pressure. I think I do it either a little too early and sometimes a little too late, and it's not great. And here, obviously, he got back into my personal space, and it's not great. So I'm going to get his head back up so that I can move him backwards again. But he's using me as a scratch post, obviously. I'm very happy that he enjoys my company and he wants to scratch up against me and all of that stuff. But I also want there to be the kind of boundary where I can be safe around him and he won't, barge into my space and knock me over. Just there, he took some definite steps back, and that was good. But you see the way that I'm still asking him to back up with a stick, but he isn't, and I'm taking it away? That's not good, because it can teach him that the pressure there doesn't mean anything, so I need to be better at persisting until something happens. Since making him step back isn't working so well in the ways that I've been trying, what I'm going to do here, look at me raise my arms like an idiot, what I'm going to do is just swing the stick and shake the rope as sort of a big gesture to be like, hey, get out of my space, you're way too close, you're in my face, so get away. And here I'm doing it, I'm being really gentle. That last one was okay, but I should have done it a bit bigger and more firm, sort of a more, a firm, get out of here, I want my space. Which did happen, technically. He moved backwards, but turned his side to me. The ideal would have been him moving back while facing me. but that's what we got this time. And even though there are a million things in this video that I could point out and say I did terribly, I need to stop being so critical of myself because I am very new to this still, and just as everybody else who's new to something, I'm going to be very bad at it to begin with. But I'm excited to be better. And this is the end of the session. I hope everybody enjoyed, and hopefully we'll see you again on another session on ZT Horse Skills.